Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Compound Interesting. This is your favorite moon boy, Emilio, and in today's video we're going to be running through some low cap altcoins for the next few months that I think will at least 10x, if not, 50 to 100x. So for me personally, the only things I've really been interested in putting fresh new money into for the last few weeks and months are low cap altcoins, because I was around in 2017 where everything pumped, 2-3x every single day. It was absolutely insane in 2017, and I think the all season for this cycle has yet to play out, so I'm just packing my bags for that all season that should come in the next few months. I'm usually a very long-term investor. I usually only think in decades or more, so that's why my biggest bags are Bitcoin and Tesla and also Ethereum. So for those decades out investments, I'm happy with my position size, and I've even gone on margin to buy more Bitcoin via MicroStrategy stock and also Tesla stock. So I think my bags are packed for my highest conviction long-term investments. For now, I just want to kind of take advantage of the upcoming alt season, which I think has yet to play out, by putting a very small percentage of my portfolio in these tiny market cap altcoins to potentially make, at least a 10x. So obviously I don't think Bitcoin has topped out at all at 60,000. It could still 2, 3, 4, 5x from here in this cycle, but I think their altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin over the coming months, and I'm going to use some of these altcoin gains to increase my Bitcoin position, because Bitcoin is the thing you want to be holding for the long term, not these like shit coins that will drop by 95% in value in the crash, because that's what I did in the last market. I bought a lot of shit coins and they all lost at least 95% of their value from the peak, not from when I bought them, but from when I could have cashed out, let's say. But I still lost a lot of money on paper. But yeah, I held them all the way through, so I still actually have them now, and I'm almost breaking even on some of them, which is amazing. Anyway, regardless, what I'm basically saying is I'm not going to be hanging on to these. Maybe I'll keep a little moon bag of all of the altcoins that I have for the very long term, but the majority of my altcoin bags I'm going to be selling over the next few months. I'm not usually a short-term investor, but these are short-term plays for me just to increase my Bitcoin and Ethereum stack. That's how I'm playing this. So none of these altcoins in this video, or mostly altcoins I own, none of them make up even 1% of my entire portfolio. So these are not something I'm putting all my eggs into at all. This is obviously not financial advice. There is high return potential and a high amount of fun potential, but also obviously a lot of risk. So this is obviously not financial advice. But before we get going, hugely appreciate if you could smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I talk about investing in stocks and crypto, and sometimes have people on for interviews, and hit the notification bell, because I talk about stocks and crypto, and YouTube doesn't like when you talk about multiple things. It only likes if you're super niche, so the YouTube algorithm won't show you me in your recommended feed unless you just hit that notification bell if you like my videos. If you do like my videos, hit that notification bell so you'll actually see them, otherwise you're not going to see them at all. Alright, with all that said, let's get cracking with the first pick of today. Alright, so the first coin that I bought is Chain Games. So basically Chain Games is the Paddy Power of esports. That's the way I'm thinking of it, or whatever betting company is the biggest betting company in your country. But Chain Games essentially allows you to bet on esports, bet on yourself. Say I love playing video games, and so do all my friends. We can make a little smart contract using Chain Games, and we all use the Chain Games currencies and put a bet on who's going to win the free-for-all match in Call of Duty. Whoever wins gets the payout. But in the same way, it doesn't have to be your friends, and it's all over a blockchain. So there's no central party that needs to take care of it. You can just play with random people online and actually earn money if you're good at video games. We all know how big esports will be in the future. In my opinion, it might even become as big as real sports in the future in 10, 20 years. And this is a method by which someone who's really good at video games could actually make a living from it. Basically betting that they're going to beat whoever in a certain video game and put money up for it and win money that way. So at the moment, only really the very best people can actually earn a living from playing video games by going into these huge competitions. But with Chain Games, you could just play small competitions. Even if you only have a tiny amount of money, you could actually just play in those small competitions and make some money that way. So it's a fully diluted market cap of 330 million. So it's actually the biggest coin that we're going to talk about today by market cap. And from a technical point, it looks pretty nice. So it looks like it's going through one of these consolidation phases again, like it did for the month of March, and then hopefully it will pop again in a few weeks or a few months. So I could easily see chain games making it into the billions of dollars of valuation just in this cycle alone, because gaming is one of the most important use cases for cryptocurrencies. And maybe even into the distant future, chain games could become a real killer app. So yeah, maybe I'll keep a moon bag, a sizable moon bag for chain games. So let's move on to the second coin of the day, continuing with the narratives in cryptocurrency, because unfortunately there's not much things that are based on a fundamental basis in cryptocurrency at the moment. Everything is kind of speculation, really, like apart from Bitcoin really and Ethereum, which are actually being used. Most of it is just speculation, so you need to go along with the narratives. And one of the biggest narratives that I'm sure you're all aware for this cycle is NFTs. So I bought into one of the biggest NFT hypes there are right now, which is Ethernity Chain. So Ethernity Chain is basically trading cards, but NFT trading cards. So I do think this was a it's already run up so much. I didn't buy in at the start because I was waiting for a dip. Unfortunately, I never really got the dip that I was hoping for. So I ended up buying in a lot higher than I originally could have. But you win some, you learn some. So basically you're going to be able to buy NFT trading cards, and they're all signed by, you know, famous people. So for example, Muhammad Ali has partnered Boss Logic, which is a graphic designer, a famous graphic designer, and they're going to get, you know, famous footballers, you know, famous actors, all sorts of people to sign these digital cards, and they'll be secure, they'll be scarce and secure, etc, etc. So Ethernity Chain has run extraordinarily since ICO, and the pre-sale is just insane how well it's done. Like, a lot of people are up 100x in a couple of months. So yeah, you're definitely buying into extreme hype, and this isn't a coin I'm looking at holding for the long term. It's digital trading cards. Like, that's not really fundamental value there, is there? So yeah, this is just something I'm kind of trying to flip. Maybe I'll get wrecked, but I think NFTs are the biggest hype train you can jump on for this cycle, and I think you could potentially make some easy money investing in the biggest NFT platforms at the moment, in my opinion. But I'm not going to stay on the train for too long. I'm going to get off at the in a couple of stations, if you know what I mean. All right, so another hype train that we could talk about is Theta. So I'm sure maybe some of you have seen how well Theta has done recently. So I missed the boat on Theta. I think a lot of people probably missed the boat on Theta. Kind of came out of nowhere. But there are competitors that have very low market cap that maybe could eventually reach Theta's market cap. So I'm looking at some of them. I invested into one of them, which isn't really a direct competitor, and there's another one that is a more direct competitor called AIOZ, AIOZ. But I haven't invested into I don't know how to pronounce it, AIOZ yet, because I don't know what the market cap is. The market cap isn't available on CoinGecko, so I'm a bit hesitant to invest in something when I don't know how much it's actually worth. I can't value it in comparisons to Theta or anything. But basically what Theta and AIOZ are trying to do is, if you know, they're trying to make a decentralized CDN, basically a decentralized version of Fastly, where people content delivery network. So if I want to watch a movie in Bangladesh, someone has to have servers near Bangladesh to send me the video stream or whatever. But with something like Theta or with something like AIOZ, people who are using the network, it would be nodes, like people who have their phones or whatever. There would be nodes, and they would send you, who also live in Bangladesh, they would send you the movie file, and they would get staking rewards or whatever rewards for doing that service for you. So accessing all this excess computing power, using it in a decentralized fashion. But the main thing about Theta is the founders of Theta one of them was also the founder of YouTube. So they know what they're doing in regards to streaming anyway. So they found a good use case for a cryptocurrency, and AIOZ is trying to, become a competitor. A different one that I did invest into, it's kind of in the same vein, but not exactly, is Veracity. So Veracity wants to solve the problem of online advertising, because like half of online advertising money gets spent on fake views, like bots. So like half of the views you get on YouTube are like bots. So those advertisers are basically wasting half their money essentially. But with something like Veracity, every viewer has a unique transaction ID, and it's very easy to determine on a blockchain if it's it's not easy, but they've worked out how to ensure that every viewer is a legitimate viewer. So I invested a very, very small amount into that. All right, so I've saved the best to last. This is the lowest market cap coin. I bought it when it was a $10 million market cap, which is just insanely small comparisons to the stock market. You can never invest in something that small. That'd be like fractions of a penny stock. Anyway, this is my potential moon bag that I'm hoping to get a 50x out of, but it's Graphlink, ticker GEklQ. So basically what Graphlink allows you to do is to interact with DeFi and blockchain systems without having any coding knowledge. So for example, you could set up a trading bot that would trade on a decentralized exchange for you without having any coding skills using Graphlink. So they make it really, really easy. You just drag and drop different boxes and they're all thousands of lines of code to be able to execute whatever functions you want on the blockchain, which is obviously a little bit tricky for most people, a little bit complicated. And to use the service, you pay in Graphlink tokens. So the more people use the service, the Graphlink tokens are burned. If you use the service, the Graphlink tokens are burned. So the more people use the service, the more Graphlink tokens are burned, and the more Graphlink's price should increase. Again, I just want to stress how little money I actually put into all of those projects. These are just, speculations, because they are speculative, really, really speculative cryptocurrencies. I'm not putting large portions of my wealth into these. I'm not afraid to lose all the money, because you could easily lose all the money by investing in these cryptos. So if you enjoyed my picks, and if you enjoyed the reasoning behind my picks, I'm just kind of going after the hype trains. Unfortunately, this is really, really bad investing for 99% of cases, but I just think for the time that we're in, we're coming up into this crazy speculative mania, and if it's anything like 2017, it will literally blow your socks off. Yeah, so pack your altcoin bags, pack your diapers, and strap in, because it's going to be a wild ride, in my opinion. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I really, really hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't get wrecked. Don't put all your money into these highly speculative cryptos, because I got wrecked last cycle doing that. Maybe you're smarter than me, but yeah, just be really, really, really careful. Take profits in the tiny market cap speculative cryptos like I didn't last time around, and pack your bags and get ready for blast off. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.